Welcome to The Soul Space, the podcast that inspires you to discover your truth, ignite your passion, and align your life with the power of who you really are. I'm Georgia Rose, psychic astrologer. I share the cosmic roadmap that guided me through astrology, tarot, and inner knowing into authentic living. I'm here to help you decode your soul's cosmic story, reconnect with your passion, and create the life you are meant to live. It all starts within, and it all starts now in the soul space. Hey, everybody. Good morning. It's 7 o'clock at night here in New York. I'm okay. I just rushed into the studio. We had the mother of all snowstorms yesterday. We usually don't get snow this early in the Northeast. Well, in where I live anyway. But we are having a white Christmas, folks. I got to tell you, it has been a little dicey. But was like feeling very charitable yesterday. I actually ended up shoveling other people, not just myself, out of my computer just froze. Okay. Shoveling other people out. You know, I have a couple of friends. As you get older, you always have friends who are even older than you are, right? So I had a couple of friends who needed some help yesterday shoveling, and we stopped by their house. And it's always so great when you see the look on someone's face when they're happy to see you, right? So yesterday it was great because we stopped by and did a few charitable shovels, which was nice. And then my friend Trisha, who's always watching the show, she also needed some help. So we were glad to help her out as well. So today I thought I was going to wake up a little bit sore because the heavy snow was pretty intense. But yeah, I made it through. It was pretty good. And actually it looked beautiful. All day yesterday being a Sunday, it was like waking up in a winter wonderland. But for those of you who live in snowy climates, you know that doesn't last very long because then everyone starts driving and doing everything. And the next thing you know, snow looks really awful. So welcome to the Soul Space. I am Georgia Rose, your psychic astrologer. And this is the portal where we have a community where we learn about astrology and how it's affecting us. And we also talk about all things energetic and what's going on in the world. So buckle up. Sit down, have a cup of tea or a glass of wine, whatever your beverage of choice is. And we are going to talk tonight about the winter solstice, which is when the sun goes into Capricorn and we start the winter season here. Summer in other parts of the world. I know where my friend Dee is watching in South Africa. Now she's going into her summer. And we're also going to talk about the new moon in Sagittarius. Mars went into Capricorn today. What does that mean? Well, our get up and go, the gas in all of our cars, so to speak, this car that we call our human body, is now being propelled by Capricorn energy. And we'll get to that in a minute. But first, before we do that, as all of you know, as you pile into the soul space, we start every show with a cosmic comedy because we can't take ourselves too seriously around here, right? So we've got a cosmic comedy for you. It's time for Cosmic Comedy, where Mercury retrograde is the main character, the lunations are loony, and the stars are a punchline.
Unfortunately, I do enjoy being meaner to someone who was mean to me first. The way I see it, that's not revenge, it's just justice, all right? If you hit me with sarcasm, I'm not walking away. I'm doubling down. I'm pulling out childhood insults you didn't even know were on the table, all right? You said something slick? Cool. I just became a full-time roast comic with no clock out time. All right. It's not even planned. I don't mean to do this. It's instinct. Right. You come at me sideways and suddenly I've got a 10-slide PowerPoint presentation on what is wrong with your entire personality. That's it. And the best part is the guilt-free factor, you know, because normally if I'm mean, I feel bad after. But if you started it, now I'm just doing community service. Like that's just me giving back. Okay. It's therapeutic too. Like, if you say one rude thing, I say 20, you know, and balance is restored. You know, you're upset now, but I'm healed. Okay. So yeah, I shouldn't enjoy it. I know, but I do because nothing tastes better than being petty with a clear conscience.
So that's Capricorn energy. Show's over. That's all of it. It's all right there. That's what's going on with Mars and Capricorn. So what that is talking about is Capricorn is very logistic and very strategic. I mean, that was obviously a spoof. But with Capricorn energy coming in with our Mars, it's going to give us the chance to really think about the strategy for 2026 and how we want to build our structure. And that's really important in this energy because it's a whopper of an energy. So I'm going to dive right into the astrology tonight because I think that's probably the most important part of the show. So if anyone is out there watching, say hi. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Thank everyone for watching. So we have the winter solstice, summer solstice in the other part of the hemisphere. But what this is all about is, light and dark. Whenever we have the summer solstice or the winter solstice, it's really like light and dark coming in. It's the shortest day of the year or the longest day of the year. And so that is very symbolic of light and dark. And it's a time when we want to have things revealed that were in the dark and where things that have been in the light for us will become even more clear. So in an energy like this, especially at the end of the year where we have it now, this is really about coming into a higher frequency. And this is the beginning, this is a threshold of the beginning of new energy, which is all coming in 2026. Big new energy in 2026. And then 2027 is like that feeling when you are in an airplane and all of a sudden the seatbelt off sign goes on and you're just soaring into the clouds. So 2026, although it's a year where a lot of the energy changes, it's a year that will be revealing and showing to us exactly what our future is. And you may be feeling that already. In the next 3 weeks, while we're tying up some loose ends in 2025, it's really important to set our resolutions. I know normally we do that on January 1st, but now with the energy that we have swirling around us, really is a time when you want to be able to think about what you want your future to be and what you're bringing into your future. Because there are going to be things that you don't bring into your future, you don't want to, based on what you're really seeing for yourself. How do you really want yourself to be functioning in your life? What do you really want to create for yourself? And this isn't just for 2026. This energy now is coming in where it's releasing things that have been lifetime trauma or lifetime repetitive things for us, patterns that we suddenly see that now we're willing to let go of. In 2026, those things are going to become more and more evident, and we're going to be asked quite a bit to release them and to step into what we can bring into the future. Because when 2027 comes, it's no joke. We're entering now with this solstice and new moon in Sagittarius, the last chance threshold. And that's why I called this particular podcast the last chance threshold, the last chance doorway, because we're opening into a higher energy field. This is for all of humanity. And that's why you're seeing the difference in how people are reacting. Because for some people, they don't want anything to change. They want to maintain what they think is their dominance. But for others, we know that dominance is not really going to help us evolve. It's going to hold us back in the end. So we're looking for that evolution. We're looking for those answers. So you're in the right place because the soul space is the place that gives you the answers and helps you understand and make sense of the energy that's around us. So welcome to tonight's show. I hope you'll join me every Monday night at 7:00 and share the show because I happen to think this is one that humanity really needs to hear. So the winter solstice is about calling light into our life. We're entering a time period where I live, the days are getting shorter. It gets dark now at 4:30 in the afternoon here, and the sun doesn't come up till 7 a.m. So we're not in as much daylight as we are in the summer months. In the other parts of the world, it's becoming summer now. So you're seeing more light. But either way, wherever you live, what you really want to start asking yourself is, what light do I want to call into my life? Like, what is it that I really want to bring into my future? Because we're in a very heightened state of energy right now. We will be here for several months. And the energy that's heightened now is energy that wants to bring us into a future, but bring us into a future that we're rising into. Not more of the same, not stepping back, not accepting less than what we deserve, but rising into a future. And that's why for many of us, certain things have been revealed that are things we really can't bring into our future. They don't match the energy of that. And so I can't really see any comments. I don't know if they are already yet or not, but there may not be. But that's the first thing that you want to think about is, what light do you want to call into your life? What lights up your light, right? What is it that you know is part of your future that you align with? And what is it that really doesn't feel good? Almost makes you feel like the energy of your future is being destroyed in some way, or it's destructive to your future. These patterns and habits that we know we can't take with us. So the Capricorn energy is about discipline and responsibility and maturity. It's where we evolve in our maturation in life, our cycle of development as far as being mature and seeking mastery over a lot of things. Sagittarius energy is the energy of, this is where the new moon is the energy of truth and expansion and broadened ideas and higher learning and the meaning of life, like the real meat of what life means, which is going to be individual for each one of us. But Sagittarius, wherever it falls in the chart, shows us the deeper meaning of our soul's incarnation here, the deeper meaning of what our future can hold, and the expansiveness of bringing that out into our lives. And the light of that, it's a fire sign. Capricorn, which is the next sign in the zodiac, which is where Mars is and where we have energy going into after this beautiful solstice new moon that we have. Capricorn is where the sun's going to be, right? We have this beautiful new moon in Sagittarius, and then the sun immediately moves into Capricorn where Mars is. So after we have this broadening of our horizons and this seeking of truth and this revelation about the deeper meaning of our future and our soul, which is going to be very prominent during that new moon and solstice, then the sun goes into Capricorn where it meets Mars, our ambition, our assertion, and also our anger, and sometimes our aggression. But it brings in the responsibility and the maturity and the discipline to put structure to what we now have been revealed and learned in the Sagittarius cycle. So that truth that we all feel that's coming to the surface now, we kind of want to squash down a little bit. But as it comes to the surface, as the world revolves and the planets revolve, and the sun during this beautiful solstice on December 21st, depending on where you live, it'll bring out the truth. It'll bring out the revelations. You're going to see the erosion, the fading away of the things that are not meant to be brought into your future. And then as the planets slowly go into Capricorn within 48 hours of that solstice, you see the discipline and the structure and the mastery of those things. And you see that maybe what was once a tearing away, a grieving of something that you didn't receive, or a grief of something lost, now it becomes a release that you were supposed to have. Now it becomes, I didn't really need that thing. It was holding me back, actually. And we get to see it. And this is the energy now that we start to bring in to the end of 2026. So on the 15th, Mars goes into Capricorn. A few days later, after the solstice, when the sun enters Capricorn on the 21st, it joins Mars. But until then, it's doing some things in Sagittarius, the new moon, a lot of revelations. During that new moon period, between the 19th and the 20th, we've got Venus trining Chiron. This is the things that we deeply value and love. What do we need to do to expand that love so that we can heal? Where is it that we have love in our life that we don't trust, or that is suspect, or that is almost destroying us? And I know that sounds like an oxymoron or something that is impossible, but love can destroy us if we're loving to our detriment. And we're going to see where we do that in this time period. Next couple of weeks, going to be able to see what's going to be revealed is that not only maybe are we loving to our detriment, but we're loving in a way that blocks us from being truly expansive. Then the sun squares Mars on December 17th. Mars is now in Capricorn. The sun's headed for that beautiful new moon in Sagittarius, and it squares Mars. That's the tension. Where has our ambition been thwarted by our soul's desire? Where has our ambition been charged up and motivated by our soul's desire? Those are the questions that are going to start to come in. What are the things that are blocking you from really doing the things that you want to do? and what are the things that are propelling you forward into the future you want to create. It's all going to become really clear in the next couple of weeks, and especially this week coming up. And then the new moon comes in. And the reason why this new moon reveals things and is expanding truth in our life isn't just because it's in the beautiful sign of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, which expands everything it touches. Sagittarius is all about the truth, the higher learning, the deeper meaning of life. But at this new moon, where the sun and the moon come together in this beautiful sign of truth, of awakening, of expansion, the new moon is exactly on the galactic center of the galaxy we live in. What does that mean? It means a heightened energy of the future. It means that we can see around the bend. The truth will be revealed of exactly how to navigate around that bend. The galactic center is an inspiration. It's energy that we don't even understand. It's the center of our whole universe as we know it in the galaxy of where we live. It holds wisdom. And the Capricorn solstice, when the sun goes into Capricorn, is all about wisdom. It's about the elder. It's about the ancient. It's about where we learn mastery. That mountain goat doesn't just climb the mountain. He climbs the mountain and seeks mastery so he can look down and observe and see where the future really is. So you can see how all of this energy is so futuristic. And so we're in this place of higher frequency. And this is for everyone in the world. But this higher frequency that's coming in is sweeping away the debris of the things that are not good for us, that block us, that can't be part of our future. And so we're seeing the truth now. So anything that's old and unworthy of us is being asked to leave. And that can be in a very aggressive way. It can be in a subtle way, but you're all going to feel it happening. This is a rising into the future. That is what this energy of the Sagittarian new moon and the Capricorn solstice and the way the earth and the sky and the planets just fold into this energy in order to give us momentum. It's like stirring a big pot of some beautiful, delicious soup or something, and it's all going to come together in truth, in heat from Sagittarius, and from structure and groundedness of Capricorn. So can you feel the future? Can you feel your future? What does it look like? What does it smell like? What is it saying to you? The future isn't just, oh, I'm going to buy a new house. The future is, I'm going to buy a new house so I can. The future isn't just, I'm going to move to a foreign place. The future is, I'm going to move to this exotic country because I want to blank. We can really see the future now. So I'm going to ask all of you, can you feel the future? And when you get into that mode and you can really feel it and meditate on that, the next question to ask ourselves is, what's on your future timeline that you can work on right now? So it's not a dream. It's not imagination. It's not out in the far too distant future where Sagittarius always has us looking. But now it comes in more and it's grounded into that Capricorn structure and earthiness. And with Neptune now in Aries, and almost there anyway, and Saturn soon to go there, this is about the structure, the spiritual fire that brings that dream that's way out there in the horizon into our line of vision, into where we can see it and taste it and smell it and know it, because our soul's been craving it for a really long time. And it may seem like just another solstice to some people, just another first day of winter or first day of summer for some. And it may seem like just another new moon in Sagittarius for others. But for those of us who access that soul space, that spiritual fire, that knowingness that is being revealed to us more and more every day, for us, this is the threshold, the doorway of the last chance to reach out and touch our future and bring it to us and feel it in our heart while Jupiter's in Cancer, feel it in our soul when this beautiful new moon on the galactic center is reaching in and touching that soft, gooey space of ours and allowing us to put what we want to create there. So focus this next 2 weeks Focus on your resolutions, what you want to bring into the future. You know, when I was a little girl, I had a dollhouse. And the house I grew up in was rather noisy and chaotic and not like this cute little dollhouse at all. And I used to love to spend hours organizing the furniture and making up stories for the people and just playing house. But it was an imagination. It was a dream. It was ethereal. It wasn't real. But I used to love to reach in and touch those figures and make it real. And this is what this is about now. Reaching into your house, your home, your soul space, and manipulating the figures and the desires and the knowingness and the potential that you have to create whatever you want in that home within, and create whatever you want in the outside world by bringing it forth from that landscape, that home within you that can create your dream into reality. These are the thresholds that we're entering now. And for those who are afraid, for those who are in anxiety, for those who can't seem to overcome and do the change that's needed in order to bring in this beautiful space of taking responsibility for why our soul is here and taking responsibility for our own actions. For those of us who can't do it, we're afraid, or we are feeling inadequate, or we're put down, or we're judged, or we're in a place that is so critical that we just can't find our power. For those of us, if you can lean back and trust, then you can find your power. But you have to be able to really, really give back to yourself first. Give your power back to yourself. Give your power back to what you want to create in your life, because the situations around you are pulling you into negativity. So focus on what you want your future to be right now. Don't wait for January 1st. And Bobby, can you just delete one of the comments that are on the last one, I think? So focus on that, especially the next 2 weeks. You want to talk about affirmations and intention. Intention is very important now. The words that you want to use for creating your future, the things that you write in your journal, all these things are really super important, because we have a time right now with this threshold, especially with the new moon on the galactic center. We have a time right now that is magic. And I know, just like when I used to spend hours reorganizing my dollhouse as a kid and making up beautiful family stories with the figures that live there, just as that was magic to me, we can create magic in our own lives anytime we want. And we do that with words often. So affirmations and intentions are really important, because when we put words into our mouth and say them in the air and they vibrate, we're sending the vibration of those words out into the universe. And they can be ugly or they can be beautiful. They can be empowering or they can be disempowering. So especially over the next 2 weeks and all into 2026, one of the things we really need to work on is our words and using them to make magic, because those words hold the higher energy of this threshold. They hold the higher energy of rising into the future. And we want to keep them high. So we're going to have continued exposure of that which is not future proof. That which does not belong in our future will be revealed. That which does will also be revealed. But I just want to talk a minute about the exposure of the things that are going to be revealed that are not for our future, especially when we're trying to evolve or be on a higher plane. These are things that cannot go with a higher frequency. They're going to slip away. We're going to have to let go of them. Or in some cases, they will, Uranian, planet Uranus way, be ripped away or exploded, or whatever verb you want to use. But we all will experience in a collective, meaning in the media and globally, we all will experience, and we will also experience in our personal lives, the exposure of anything that is not for our future. It's going to happen. So make your long-term goals about freedom and adventure. And that's Sagittarian. freedom and adventure. Capricorn also is about adventure, you know. The sun in Capricorn, it likes to climb. The mountain goat likes to climb. It likes to seek adventure. It's strategic about it, though. So stay in high energy, and just those two words, freedom and adventure. I'm creating my future. I'm in a critical time where this is my last chance to create this future. So, as I said, a lot of things that are going to come in for us are going to be negative that get removed, right? It's about this exposure of what is not meant for our future, right? Just looking at my notes. This exposure of what's not meant for our future. So I want to talk about that for a few moments. And I don't want to give too much energy to it, but I just want to talk about that for a few moments regarding conflict. So there is a lot of energy out in the world right now that is seeking to destroy. And I'm not just talking about wars. I'm not just talking about religious conflicts and racial conflicts and things like that. I'm also talking about, we were just talking about words. And we have a lot of world leaders, not just in my country, but all over, where words are really becoming destructive. And they add to an energy of fear and deprivation, of negativity. And it all stems from wanting to dominate. When humans want to dominate one over another, it's always based on one of two things or both. And those are resources and belief systems. And we can see that playing out now in our personal lives and all across the globe, even with our world leaders, where they are seeking to dominate, and they're doing it through conflict. They're doing it through an energy where people are struggling to hold on to their dominance. And you may have some of these situations in your personal life as well. But that's how humanity works. But it's all going to be exposed. And that's why many people have anxiety now. Because as these things that don't work and these mechanisms of dominance and control are exposed, we don't like it. We don't like it on one level because when things are revealed and we see that our illusions are broken and that these were dominations or manipulations instead of what we thought were good for us because that's how they were packaged, it makes us really squirrely. When we don't have a belief system to hold on to, we don't have a foundation and we get really awkward. So I talked about this on last week's show as well. So we can right the ship by being positive, by having our affirmations, by being truthful, by getting rid of what we can't carry into the future. Because the more we do that, the anxiety is going to go away and things are going to be in alignment. Anything damaging that cannot go with a higher frequency will be exposed and dissolved. So the world's going to rock. The world is going to rock and roll. You may even see in these transits that we have coming up over these next few weeks, you may even see a lot of earthquakes, a lot of hurricanes, a lot of volcanic activity, because the earth is going to rock. Because the light that's coming in now, and I'm not even talking about 3i Atlas, go look that up because that's a humdinger of an energy. All of the light that's coming into the world is raising the frequency. And so all of the low energy and the low frequency is being exposed, and the world's rocking from it. And that's what's happening in our personal lives too. So if you've been doing your work and you've been, systematically getting rid of the things that aren't good for you, it's going to be fine. But if you haven't been doing that, a lot of this is going to happen kind of all at once. So one of the things I want to mention, and then I'm going to go on to a different topic, a little bit of a different energy anyway, is that, and I'm sorry, my notes are just making noise, but I was writing them just a few minutes before the show, which I don't normally do. But here's how we can really deal with that energy of conflict and the energies that are out there really looking to destroy and be destructive. And they're coming from this need to stay dominant that is really bringing negativity into the world. Here's a key trick, okay? This is worth the price of admission watching the show right here. When you look to find clues of the future, whether it be your own personal future or whatever part of that depends on the trends in the world or where energy is flowing, And it's always really important to know where energy is flowing in the collective, because we want to use our intuition to be able to be in full potential, right? So when you are looking for clues as to what's going to happen in the world and how it will affect you, and the energy and the alignment that you should be choosing for your own personal life, do not look to media. Don't look for mainstream. Do not watch the news to find out what the stock market's doing. Don't watch the elections to find something else out. Don't watch any mainstream news. If you want to know what's really going on in the world, look at your own personal life. Look at local things. What's going on where you live? What's going on in your neighborhood? What's going on in your state? What are your local officials doing and saying and thinking? And what's the climate? What's the climate when you're in your group of friends? What's the climate when you go to your local watering hole or your local restaurant, or you're sitting at your local bar having a burger? And what are you hearing? What are you seeing? What is the buzz? What is the energy? That's the truth. Going to the mainstream for clues or energy to find out what's going on in the world does not work, because all of the messaging that you're going to get from the mainstream is in the energy of being challenged in a way that they are more forcefully trying to dominate. So now if you look to mainstream, and every signal of energy that you get from mainstream is low. It's low energy. It's a narrative of low energy designed to keep us in fear and negativity. So don't go to the mainstream for your clues about your future, about where the world is headed. Use your own intuition in your local little bubble. Family. What's everyone saying around the dinner table? What was the topic at Christmas dinner, right? How is this Christmas dinner very different from last year's? That's how you get your info. Observe, feel. And then when you realize what's going on in the world, think about your little future. Our little spot. We have this little spot on this big planet. And it's so important because we were born for a reason. We were born to live our full potential. So in this threshold of the solstice, the new moon, Mars in Capricorn, Neptune going into Aries, Saturn going into Aries, Uranus going back into Gemini in a few months, all of these things occurring in the next few months, all that energy, the movement. How are you going to move? Where are you going to move? What are you going to move? Who are you going to move? What's the energy moving in your life? Because that's the energy that you got to be thinking about. Don't look to the mainstream for that. Look to your world and the clues you're going to get in meditation and yoga as well. So, what light do you want to bring into your future? What light do you want to bring into your life? Sagittarius, the truth seeker, the philosopher, is showing it to you. And Capricorn is giving you the structure to do it. Aries is also giving you the structure. So, really critical couple of weeks coming up. What do we need to let go of before stepping into 2026? January 1st isn't the time for those resolutions and those decisions. It's now. And I'm telling you, the solstice, which is happening on the 20th and 21st, is the time to set those intentions. Set those intentions. Reflect on responsibility, freedom, adventure. This is your last chance doorway. You want to step through it with courage, clarity, and soul alignment. So think about the doorway as a portal of light. Think about this portal of light as a place that's glowing, an archway, just like in the graphic that I have on my YouTube for this particular video. Think about it opening to a beautiful starry sky, and all those stars are a pinpoint of light that are symbolizing your potential. Think about that as your future. Every star in the sky is just another pinpoint of your potential. The winter solstice, think about that magic. The horizon with the sun just beginning to rise after the longest night. representing rebirth, renewal, our future being rebirthed. And Sagittarius energy, gosh, it's just arrows of light shooting towards those stars that are all little pinpoints of your potential, symbolizing truth, symbolizing seeking truth, and your higher vision of what you want your life to be. In the Capricorn archetype, I've spoken about the mountain and the mountain goat peaking at that glowing summit with the sun rising on the solstice, representing discipline, responsibility, and mastery over whatever has held us back, and mastery over our own belief systems, what we're bringing into the future. And all of this coming together in a cosmic alignment as planets shift across a dark sky while we're sleeping, orchestrating things just for us, hinting at karmic cycles, closing and opening new energies just for us. So this is a last chance doorway, because 2026, the world's going to take off in a whole new place, new world order being born. Now is the time to clear the debris so you can be part of it. So remember, I'm going to give you an affirmation for the solstice new moon in Sagittarius. I step through the last chance doorway with courage and clarity, and I release all that is not aligned with my higher future. And I commit to living in truth, discipline, and soul potential. And as the light returns, I will rise with it. And that's my future. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And I hope I see you next Monday night right here in the Soul Space. If you think this is a show people should hear, then share it. If you'd like a private reading with me to find out exactly how this affects your chart and what your future really is about, zenkuda.com. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next Monday.